All right, so we are back one last time on the Prime Card Fight Week. This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Or in this case, count to 30, because that's how many videos we've done on Fight Week. A 30-piece for you guys. It's been chaos, it's been fun, it's been sleep depriving, but as this video is going out, we're finally here. I'm on live stream currently, probably pulling some kind of crazy shenanigans, talking with guests, but the one thing I haven't addressed, the one thing I still haven't said, at least officially, is my pick, my prediction for KSI versus Tommy Fury. There's no more time to waste. I've given all my thoughts. I've broken down every piece of this fight that I could. So now it's time for me to tell you, who do I think wins? The breakdown? Let's go. This fight, on paper, shouldn't be happening. Tommy Fury has far more experience. He is a boxer by trade. He is more skilled, bigger, stronger, faster, and in every aspect of what you'd look for in a boxer, Tommy checks the boxes that KSI just doesn't. Broad shoulders, wide frame. KSI more narrow-shouldered, smaller, fundamentally not even close to the same level of technique as Tommy. None of this stuff lines up for KSI to be successful, but it hasn't ever lined up for him to be successful before. I mean, yes, some of the recent opponents of JJ, I thought he was a lot better than Swarms, Pineda, Temper, and Joe Fournier. Temper being the closest, but Joe Fournier offering almost nothing. JJ loves being an underdog, and for most of his life, he has been that. And this video could be a big technical breakdown, and we'll do some of that, sure, but I do want to speak to KSI's advantages here and why he could win this that we've already done a video on. It's his physical strength, his power in his right hand, and his determination, the danger in a guy that, in my opinion, and JJ has nothing to lose. But I've told you guys about this so many times that willpower, determination, legacy, all those things are important, and they mean something, and they're your why for fighting, but at a certain point in a fight, it's a fight. My question this entire time, since this fight was announced, since I've talked to people behind the scenes about the thought process going into this Tommy Fury fight, why has JJ picked Tommy and why has his team said yes? The same conclusion I keep coming down to is ego. His ego, and again, before people jump on me, I'm not saying that in a bad way. JJ's ego is a good thing. Same way it was a good thing when Jake decided to challenge himself. These are good things. This is why these two are the biggest creators in this scene and pretty much in everything they touch. Same with Logan to a degree. But there's a part of life where the rubber meets the road, and that ego, that self-belief, that willpower, it runs into someone with the same ego, the same willpower, the same belief. And in this case, at least from the build-up, from what I can see, that's Tommy Fury. So I have to take the things that I have in front of my face, the things I can see. The intangibles, sure, they'll make a difference, but I don't know to what degree they will. And I don't know to what degree they won't. So when I talk about JJ's willpower, sure, it's an X factor, but I don't know how much of a difference it will make. As far as the technical side of this, KSI has, in his own words, said his game plan is to take punches to get to the right hand. The overhand has been the basis for everything KSI has developed as a boxer. Big time power in his backhand and his lead hook. Those are the two shots that he's given the most attention to and have given him the most results. So can he knock Tommy Fury out by coming forward, by pressing the gas, by stepping on Tommy's toes, by jabbing to the body, overhand right, left hook, continuous pressure, tenacity, all that? Sure, it can happen. Absolutely. But what we are acting like is an impossibility, which is baffling to me, is that they don't happen. Because that percentage, in my opinion, is higher. That all those things can go right for KSI, but the knockout may not come. And the question that comes when that happens is, what else do you have? Is there another way for you to win? Can you win by outboxing Tommy? Because at some point, if that knockout doesn't come, the technique will break. And when those things break, just like I said with Logan in our breakdown earlier, the fundamentals are what you fall back on. In any type of fighting sport or any sport, when you're tired, when you don't want to do it anymore, when you have nothing left, you fall back on your fundamentals, or you fall back into survival mode. What got you to the dance? For JJ, that is unorthodox boxing, swinging, hitting whatever's in front of him, and hoping for the best. And taking one to give one, it has its place in strategy, but it shouldn't be the only. strategy, at least not in my mind. So I see this fight going one way. I see JJ coming out maybe a little bit more patient, a little bit more reads in the first round. I do want to see more head movement from JJ here. If he's going to win this fight, it's going to have to be head movement. It's going to have to be avoiding the jab. It's going to have to be closing distance off the jab. And he says he can fight off the back foot. We're going to see, because I think that that's going to be a crucial part of this too. If he can find a way to fight off his front and back foot, then we got to fight here. Something we haven't seen from JJ, so I can't say he can, but I can't say he can't. But the scenarios that you play out, the percentages say when you take that kind of risk, when you take one to give one constantly, when you're only moving forward, only offense, no defensive awareness, pressure to the fullest, pedal to the metal, pace to the fullest, at some point the wheels fall off. Like I said, I think the fight goes one way. JJ comes out very aggressive early on in the fight, could actually steal the first round from Tommy Fury, and maybe even the second, depending on how long it takes Tommy Fury to get going. But if we get to that third round and JJ hasn't cemented himself, he hasn't landed a big-time shot to get Tommy's respect, he hasn't done much to put fear into Tommy Fury with all the pace he's going to bring, this is where the tide turns, in my opinion. And this is where the fundamentals and boxing skill and technique take over. And I think from that point forward, Tommy Fury will overwhelm JJ with not only the strategy I talked about in my video breakdown of this, the bullying, the bully technique, stepping on JJ's toes, making him fight off the back foot, making him show that he can stop forward motion with anything other than just a big swing of the right hand, and putting what's probably naturally going to be 15 to 20 pounds of weight on JJ in every clinch that he overextends in. Every time KSI throws a big looping overhand and he either hits or misses, Tommy needs to clinch. Every time JJ overextends in the blitz and the bladed stance, Tommy's going to clinch. And that frustration's going to build, and maybe even that fatigue's going to build. And Tommy, little by little, off his jab is going to start opening up the right hand. Off his jab's going to start opening up the lead hook. Off his jab's going to start opening up the uppercut. The counters will come out, and I do see an opportunity here for Tommy to stop JJ. Just like I see JJ being able to stop Tommy. But again, when you're that committed offensively with no regard for defensive responsibility, the percentages say before it's all said and done, you're going to eat a big one. JJ may be able to do that. So I think, as a final prediction, and you hear the way I'm saying this, by the way, I can't really lie in this one. I don't want Tommy Fury to beat JJ. I don't want KSI to lose. Regardless what's happened between him and I and whatever's gone on with Misfits in the past, that's not what I want. What I want is the growth of influencer boxing. JJ winning that, in my opinion, solidifies influencer boxing in some way, to do one thing that no one ever thought we could and beat a pro boxer, you know? So of course, if there's a team to be on, regardless, personal stuff aside, I want KSI to win this fight, but I don't know if I see it happening. So for that reason, I think Tommy Fury wins. I think he wins the decision. I think JJ makes this fight a lot closer than it should be for the amount of time trained. I could see him even maybe stealing 3 on a certain judge's scorecard, but I do think at some point, the tide turns, and when it does, it doesn't turn back. Tommy Fury, volume after the first couple of rounds, stepping on JJ's toes, bullying the bully, and winning a decision. JJ has the opportunity to prove me wrong, everybody else. So KSI versus Tommy Fury, I'm taking Tommy into decision, but October 14th is when it's really decided. And that's when, guess we'll find out.